Step into a world of romance and mystery with Tamora Rose. Today we're reading Chapter 7 of Child of the Wind. The hour was late when Canace climbed the stairs, making her way to the bedchamber she'd been given earlier. The lambs were at her feet, but Bentley had rushed ahead. He might make his way to her bedchamber, or he might decide to go exploring. Bentley would do whatever Bentley did. It amused her, so she made no effort to curtail his behavior. Reaching her door, she ushered the lambs ahead of her. They were so attached to her she didn't have to worry that they'd wander off. As she entered the room, she noticed 2 bottles of warm milk sitting by the fire. Trust Duncan to remember that she was still feeding the lambs a bottle at the end of the day, even though they were 4 months old now. The twins, recognizing the bottles and smelling the sweet scent of milk, immediately started bleating. They were hungry and would wait no longer. With a happy laugh, Canace settled herself on the floor by the fire. Una was the first to crawl into her lap and was therefore the first to be fed. Though Malta bleated, complaining loudly to anyone who cared to listen, Canace had only 1 pair of hands. Malta would just have to wait. A knock on the door brought her head up. "Come in," she called. The door opened to reveal Duncan and Bentley. "Get in there," the Scot instructed, waving at the dog. Bentley, ever playful, rolled around on the floor just outside the bedchamber door. Canace giggled and watched Duncan try to wrangle the dog without hurting him. After a few tense moments, she decided to help her guardian. "Bentley, here, boy." The dog responded instantly, darting into the room without any further prompting. The Scotsman entered the room and shut the door, effectively trapping the dog. Bentley didn't care. He simply jumped up on the bed, rolled around until the blankets and sheets were a mess, then hopped down and proceeded to chew on the leg of a chair. "Stop that," Duncan snapped. The dog cheerfully ignored him. With a growl, the Scot threw up his hands. "That dog is a menace." "What did he do?" Canace asked, unconcerned. He was a dog, after all. Besides racing around the manor like a wild thing? Duncan shot the dog a baleful glare. "He ate a cushion, chased Nora's cat, and I just caught him raiding the kitchens." "He's a dog," she reminded him. "Dogs do that." "Your dog. Keep him under control, if you would." "You know that's not how it works." She glanced at the dog as he rose and found a piece of leather to chew on. "He's my friend, not my pet." Duncan rolled his eyes and took a seat. "Just keep your friend from eating anything he's not given. You do know he's chewing on your slipper." Canace only shrugged. She had plenty of slippers. Bentley could chew up 1 pair. Since he wasn't hurting anything, she dismissed thoughts of the dog who liked to chew and didn't listen. She was more interested in other things. "What did you think of Jet?" she asked quietly. "I think maybe I should direct that question at you." Her lashes fluttered as she finally fed Malta. "He's handsome enough, but..." "But?" Duncan prompted. "I don't think he likes me. I tried to be polite, to leash my temper as you asked, and I didn't even cry. But I don't think he likes me." He could understand how she would get that impression. Jet had been distant, even aloof at times. And yet... "He's attracted to you." The surprise on her face made him laugh. "Don't be so naive. You've got the body of a goddess, and your hair and eyes are... unique." She bit her lip. "When we were playing chess, he said, well, he led me to believe that he would have preferred if I were a blonde. Blondes are in fashion. By next year, they'll be out of fashion again. Don't let that worry you." Malta finally finished her supper and curled in Canace's lap to sleep. Una was already sleeping by the hearth. For several minutes, the only sounds were Bentley chewing on the slipper he'd commandeered. It was Canace who broke the silence. He doesn't like the twins, and he really doesn't like Bentley. No one likes Bentley. She shot him a withering glare. "I apologize. I know you're fond of the mutt." "He's not a mutt," she snapped, disturbing Malta's slumber. She tucked the lamb next to her twin and stood. Seeing her distress, Duncan held up his hands. "Again, I apologize. Calm down, lass." She didn't want to calm down. What she wanted to do was yell and scream until he took her home. took her back to Kincross. Since that wasn't going to happen, Canace threw herself on the bed and started to sob. Immediately concerned, Duncan sat beside her and placed a hand on her back. "Just tell me what has upset you, lass. Is it Jet? Did he say something to you?" He wasn't sure if she was trying to manipulate him with her tears or if she was genuinely distressed. For the moment, however, he'd go with distressed. Canace sobbed harder. She ignored the comforting hand on her back simply because she didn't want to be comforted right now. Crying was a much better option. Unperturbed, Duncan stayed where he was, hand moving slowly over her back. He'd been through her tantrums before and knew the only thing to do was wait it out, even if she was horribly distressed. Though she might try, even the emotional Canace couldn't cry forever. Sure enough, her sobs lessened in a matter of minutes. It wasn't long before she was able to slide into a sitting position. Tears streaked her face, so Duncan handed her a handkerchief and rose to get her a cup of water. "Feeling better?" he asked as she sipped the cool liquid. She nodded and handed back the cup. "Thank you," she whispered. "Now tell me." With a deep sigh, she nodded. Oh, she could have cried again or raged at him. There was no point. Duncan would only wait it out, and then ask again. She might as well talk to him now so they could both get some sleep. "I didn't think it would be like this," she confessed. "I thought I would see him and he would see me and we'd fall instantly in love. Then we'd be married the next day and live happily ever after. Instead, he's cold and distant and he doesn't like me." "You'll get to know each other," he promised. "It's not about that. He doesn't like the fact that I'm Scottish or that I speak with a brogue or that I'm better educated than he is. And he seemed genuinely distressed when I told him I didn't know how to be a competent chatelaine." Duncan sighed. "That one is mostly my fault. I should have had you taught those things. And I would have if my mother hadn't refused to teach you. She thought you were nothing more than a foundling." "Why didn't you ever tell her the truth?" For some reason she didn't quite understand. His answer was very important to her. "I would dearly have liked to, but you know my mother." He grinned at her. "She can't keep a secret. Somewhere along the way she would have told someone that Barsland's little lass was hiding out in Kincross. And from there, who knows who would have heard about it. I wasn't willing to risk your life, not even if it made things easier for the both of us." Canace thought it over. "I guess that's a good as reason as any. But I almost wish it had been otherwise. Maybe then I'd know how to run a household, and maybe Jet would be just a little fond of me. I'm sure he is fond of you." "He doesn't like the lambs," she said suddenly, repeating herself without being aware of it. "He didn't say it, but I could tell. When one of them bleated, he'd look at them like they didn't belong. And as for Bentley, well, no one likes Bentley." That last bit made the Scot flinch. I shouldn't have said that. Bentley is a fine dog. The animal in question gave a sharp bark, loud enough to shake the bed. That finally coaxed a laugh from Canace. At the delicate sound, Bentley jumped up on the bed and licked her face until she was giggling constantly. "Stop!" she squealed. When he ignored her and continued his merciless assault, she only laughed harder. Duncan let this continue for several minutes before he pulled the dog off her. Bentley wiggled and rolled, but Duncan shoved him firmly off the bed. Bentley only ran around to the other side and jumped right back on again. This time, however, he merely curled up right next to Canace, put his head on her lap, and gave Duncan a withering dog stare. "Damn dog," he muttered. Canace wrapped her arms around the fluffy dog and smiled. "He's my friend." "I can see that." As much as he complained about the mutt, he couldn't help but be grateful that Bentley was there for her. Something told him the next 3 months would be trying for his young ward. Winding her hands in Bentley's thick fur, Canace glanced up at Duncan. "He doesn't like Bentley. I'm not sure I can live with that." "Let's try focusing on what he did like," Duncan suggested. She bit her lip. "He liked that I can ride, though I don't think he believed that I ride better than he does." "To be fair, you don't know that." At her look of disbelief, he grinned. "It's true that us Scots ride better than any other, but you haven't seen him ride. It's possible, however unlikely, that he actually is the better rider. I doubt it. So do I, but it's possible. She'd give him that. He also really didn't like it when I beat him at chess. Twice. Didn't I tell you to let him win? When she shook her head, he cursed at himself. Well, I should have. Let him win next time. Why? She looked at him as if he'd sprouted a few new heads. He took exception to her tone. Men, especially young men, don't like losing a game of strategy to a lass. It's a point of pride for them, and they don't always forgive a lass for besting them. I beat you all the time. Perhaps I'm more evolved than most men. Though she tried, she couldn't stop the giggle that escaped through clenched teeth. It's just not fair. I play better than he does. Why should I let him win? If he can't deal with losing, that's not my problem. Since you're going to marry him, I would say it most certainly is your problem. Her face fell. Duncan, do I have to? The whine in her voice told him she was tired, so he would make this brief. You know you must. It is the king's command, and his commands are not lightly disobeyed. What if he doesn't want me? Her jaw tightened. What if I don't want him? The look he gave her clearly said that neither of them had any choice. She didn't have to like it, but she might just have to accept it. Duncan sighed and rose. Go to sleep. Canace nodded and burrowed under the covers. Undress first, he instructed as he moved toward the door, and do not sleep naked. She looked at him in surprise. You know about that? His brow quirked in amusement. My mother told me. She was, according to her, quite horrified. Doesn't your mother know how to mind her own business? No. He pulled the door open. Change quickly and sleep. I'll see you in the morning. Canace nodded and watched him leave, knowing it would be a long time before sleep would claim her. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this chapter, stay tuned for more tales of romance. Until we meet again, may your days be filled with passion and just a touch of magic.